everyone!
This is Michal.
And this is Caleb, and you found our channel, Should You Play It? Where every week we review the free games from Epic Games. So if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing.
And enjoy the video in 3, 2, 1.
You are the shadow of the Lord of all evil. But before doing evil, you must find a target. This is Michal. He is a very nice orc. But as you approach, he feels like doing evil. But before doing evil, he must find gold. Michal starts digging. Unfortunately, he unearths a nest of vicious cave penguins. And that is how Michal died. Game over.
But I didn't die, it was just a penguin.
And that is how Michal was killed by vicious cave penguins.
And that's how Nagato dies now.
No, you can't. You know, Michal, maybe we should just review the game.
Maybe we should. Let's do it.
To the review!
Once again, hello everyone.
Hello!
This
Thank you
is
for joining us.
Us. And the game is somewhere here.
Perhaps I can narrate the game.
Dungeons 3. Which means there was Dungeons 1 and Dungeons 2, which is not important. The important thing is, this is a Dungeon Keeper rip-off. Because the Dungeon Keeper, I don't know if you're familiar with the game.
Not very. I'm going to start talking in my normal voice now. Would that be acceptable?
We'll see, we'll see.
I'd better,
We'll see
because
if
it
we
just
get
started to be
anywhere.
a little bit Scottish.
Okay, dear
gonna
Caleb
start.
narrator, Dungeon Keeper was game where you play the evil and you are in the dungeons, and the good guys are trying to enter your dungeon and kill you. But in this game, you're gonna go outside as well. But it really feels like the origin game. But you could say like the Dungeon Keeper was like, it's like a new genre of the game. And there's really not many of these games.
It did feel like a mix of many different genres that I was not familiar with. Since I
Yes.
haven't played Dungeon Keeper,
Yeah.
I imagine, as you said, it's a ripoff of that. But there's a little bit of tower defense, a little bit of economic management, a fair amount of RTS, little bit of role-playing with your hero.
And a lot of narrator.
And a lot of the narrator. The narrator, actually, you might recognize his voice because we reviewed another game with the exact
We
same
did?
narrator. Does this sound familiar? Michal decided to play a game. But not just any game.
Everything.
Dear God, no.
Stanley Parable.
Okay.
The same narrator from the Stanley Parable. Anyway, not important.
Okay.
But very amusing.
Okay. But Caleb, since
Cheers.
this was the very first time,
Yeah.
how would you describe the game?
Well, that's it. It's a mix of things. I mean, you're playing evil, which is a nice
Yes.
change from most games.
You never played Evil before, probably, right? Because there's very little games that you can do that.
I mean, most role-playing games you can decide to be evil, but
Yeah.
the game punishes you for it,
Yeah.
and here you have to be evil, and the game rewards you for it. So that is different. But I think it's a mix of things. It's not pure RTS, it's not pure economic management, but if you like those things, you're probably going to like the little bits and pieces of all of those genres mixed into this one.
Let's explain. This game has both single player and multiplayer. In single player,
Yes.
there are some tutorials you can go through, and then campaigns. And the campaigns are, I would say, interesting
And long.
And because of the narrator, that makes like fun of things. And
I have to say, I found the narrator to be too much.
too much.
This was actually a negative thing to me because it's a very sarcastic humor and it's making fun of the game, but constantly
Yeah.
reminding you that it's a game. It felt a
Yeah.
little bit like if you were in a Hollywood action movie and every 10 minutes
Yeah,
the
but-
actor turned and said, well, since this is an action movie, now I'm going to take this bazooka and blow up the bad guys.
But
Ready to
I
watch?
mean, if you look at the visual, it's not trying to be realistic as well. So I think it fits to me. So maybe we should go to the should you play this game, because now
Yeah.
it's free. So the
That's
question
right.
is,
It is
should you play it?
And it is free from November, what is it today? November 5th to November 12th, 2020 from the Epic Game Store. So if you're watching this review later, you missed it for free. You can probably still buy it from the Epic Game Store, but we're going to review it to tell you if it's worth it being free.
So, do you want me to go first?
I would love you to go first, yeah.
Well, this is quite simple because even though I like the Dungeon Keeper more, there's very little of these games, and I think everybody should experience it because there's this nice real-time strategy with the chances of getting evil. So it's yes from me. Sorry, for me. even though I have some like things to say against it, because it's too colorful, it gets messy.
The mechanics are a bit rough around the edges.
I mean the visuals get messy because if you have too many characters and you're in the battle, it gets really messy. And I'm missing a first-person view and a camera rotation also, which was in the original one. So. But yes, you should play it because there's not really many of these games. That's
true.
Why.
That was one of the things that I was going to say also, so I completely agree.
Again.
I agree with your reasons for saying yes.
Always agree with, not always.
Now, there's a very high learning curve. If you haven't played like one of the previous games in the series or Dungeon Keeper, then there's a lot to learn, and it's not instinctive. This is not like most video games. It has a different type of logic. So you'll have to spend quite a bit of time in the tutorials and probably fail the campaign a couple of times before really getting it. But I think there is, even though as a beginner, I got frustrated a few times, I think there is enough to keep pulling you through. And for me, it was actually exploration. I love
You mean the outside world, not the dungeon? Well,
both.
You can
Because in the
both.
dungeon you're trying to find gold and secret rooms and things, and just sending my little, what are they called? Little snots, the little workers around and thinking maybe I'll find a huge pack of gold or something. I'm like a magpie, anything shiny, like ooh, shiny. So the exploration elements alone were enough to pull me through some of the difficult mechanics until I really started getting the battles and the research.
So it means you liked being evil, basically.
It's a nice change. You always have to be the hero saving the world. Why not try to destroy the world once? And it's 2020. Like, the world is going up in flames. Why not be on the winning side?
What flames? What flames? What flames?
Metaphorical and real. But anyway, we're talking about video games.
So yes or not?
Yes.
Also because we agree.
Also because of what you said, that it's not perfect, it's rough around the edges, but
I think
it's a unique experience.
If there would be really more games like this, it's possible that this would not be the best one. But since there's so very little, and if you don't know the genre, this is your chance to try it
for free.
Isn't that a great deal?
I would only maybe add that we played it on the Steam and we tried multiplayer, but there was no one to connect. But hopefully this will change because the game is going free for a week. So at least hope
the idea
for 1 week. Because you can play co-op, you can play against each other.
You can play the campaign completely co-op, which is really interesting. Like that could be a lot of fun. We didn't get a chance to do it, but it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So as usual, if these free games are not enough, please go and visit our friend Low Budget Gaming because he's even more about free games and other great deals. Ding, ding, ding. So do check him out.
Leave us a comment down below to let us know if this looks like your type of game, and even if it's not, maybe you'll give it a try because we recommended it.
But you should still claim it if you don't like what you see behind us or what we just said, which is okay.
Yes, you should. So, to those of you watching us recorded, because you may have noticed we're doing this review live.
Maybe you didn't notice.
They noticed.
I hope
everyone noticed. Yeah, okay. Coming to you authentic and unedited. Thank you for watching, everyone. We will see you in our next video.
Next time.
Bye.
And since Garrett is going to spam the next link, let's see our supporters. So Thank you once again to all of our members.
You guys are awesome.
You can
Epic.
see all of you right there.
And we're going to the next stream where we're going to talk about what is coming next from the Epic Game Store. So here's the link. Consider yourselves spammed, and we will see you there.
In the next stream. Bye.